Welcome to the Good Rookie Show. My name's Faheem.
And my name is Nelly J, y'all. And we are good rookies.
That's right.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Good Tuesday. And guess what? It's the Good Rookie Show.
Yep, yep.
Yep. So what's going on, everybody? As you know, good rookies. We're excited. It's been a big week. We're end of June when this comes out. June's soon done. Oh my gosh, last week of June. This is crazy. I don't know what's happening, y'all, but June came and went. The playoffs happened, the champions were crowned, draft happened. Oh my gosh. And trades. So Fahim, what we got going on, man, this week?
Yeah. Um, so trades happened, trades got rescinded apparently, and trades happened. Um, any what trade in particular that did you want to start with?
Well, I would say this, right? All the trades were no trade was rescinded because it has to go through the league office. So trades were rumored by different
Rumored. Okay.
teams,
Well,
and then it fell through because of different reasons. But until the league actually officially accepts the trade, that's why big up to Woj and Shams and all the guys that do report on the trades because it's a lot. But they always say like this is expected, and then when it goes through, okay, this has been gone through. So I would say the first trade to knock things off was Beal. Um, your thoughts on the Beal trade? Beal going
Wow.
to Beal going to the Suns.
Phoenix?
Yep.
Yeah. Uh, hmm. Well, first of all, I have to put a respect on Phoenix's name. I like the fact that Phoenix, over the last few years, they are always they're always going for it, you know? Swinging for the fences. It wasn't Durant before, like, they got Chris Paul to go there. Then KD. Now, Bradley Beal. I mean, that's a ton of scoring. Now, they obviously there's a question to be asked who's going to get these guys the ball because they don't really have a point guard or a true point guard or a point guard that you would think would be on a championship caliber, but Beal, Booker, Durant. Wow, that's a ton of scoring. And that's a ton of scoring in the playoffs when I think it matters. So, I mean, I happen to be big on it. How about you?
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
needle. Yeah, the
Mhm.
defense. Why they lost wasn't because of scoring. When you watch the playoffs, they weren't losing because of scoring, losing because of defense and
Mhm.
lack of rebounding, lack of interior defense. That's why people were driving in there, slashing in there. Lack of perimeter D because Devin Booker, Kevin Durant defended quite well, but Aiton, you know what I mean? Like Beal doesn't do anything. All it does is sells tickets. And Beal's agent is the son of the CEO of the Suns, so that's a little, like the team to me is the same.
Mhm.
Is the same. So I even when they got Kevin Durant is a weapon, right? So they're still going to be, I think, second round exit. If they make it to the Western Conference Finals, I won't be surprised. But are they? Am I now like, oh my god, this team is going to win a championship? No, I'm not there. But to your point,
Mhm.
I just don't know how it's going to look like. Similar to when Kyrie went to Dallas, I wasn't a fan of it only because there's only one basketball, and both of those guys play their best with the ball in their hands. All three of those guys, Booker, Kevin Durant, and Beal, the ball in their hands to be impactful. Beal's defense is not like, oh my gosh, he's a defender. So he's gonna have to need the ball in his hand. And like you said, someone has to pass him the ball. And I'm thinking you have two shooting guards now and you have Kevin Durant. That tells me that they're gonna make either Booker or Beal play point guard. And again, Kevin Durant can handle the ball too, but they may have a different type of offense. Maybe they're gonna have a different system where all three can get off, to your point. So I'm not like hating it. I think it's cute, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, the team is now the team to beat. But like like that's the type of trade like that's the kind of trade you do to do that. I don't think this trade gave me that wow. It was just like oh, okay, now they have another shooting guard. Like they have that. I feel like Booker and
Mhm.
Kevin Durant can do what they need shooting. My issue with them, what my issue was that um they weren't getting other people involved. And that's why some guys got cold. And when the one game when Kevin Durant and Devin Booker played bad in that game 6 against Denver, no one else stepped up because they weren't prepared to. Like, they don't have the ball in their hands. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, I mean, again, like, I'm happy for Beal because clearly he wanted to go to the Suns. So, I would just say now their money is tight. They have 3 guys getting lots of money. And the question for the Suns is, do they go to the luxury tax and sign someone else? Because I think they need a point guard for him. If I'm them, I'm going after Tyus Jones. I know Tyus Jones went from Memphis to the Wizards. I kind of wish the Wizards waited to get a Tyus and a Poole, and then Sun go, okay, give us Tyus and Beal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a Tyus would have been perfect. You know what I'm saying? With that Beal trade to make it better. You know what I mean? So, they need a point guard. There's some point guards that are available. Fred VanVleet, but he wants 30 mil. Um, and like, some teams have a lot of point guards, some drafted some point guards. So, I mean, I'm curious to see what happens with the Suns. I think the Suns, who they draft yesterday, drafted Tumani Kamara, and he is not a point guard. Um, so yeah. So again, we're gonna see, right? But again, like, I don't think you do a trade for him to impact your deficiencies, right? Like, when Lakers did trades, it was a reason, right? So that's why with this trade, I'm kind of like, is this gonna solve why you lost, or are you doing it because it's something that you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so Kamara, he's a 6'8", 6'8", so from Belgium. He's born there. Maybe he can. I'm not sure if he's a great rebounder, like, or what, if he's good at that. But they need some size for him. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm rounding off. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's my thoughts on Beal. They're the same team to me. Beal doesn't move the needle for me for that team.
All right. And the Boston Kristaps Porzingis trade, that went through? Because I'm confused. I'm hearing it went
So
through. I'm hearing it
there was
didn't.
2 trades, right? So only one trade happened. There was a rumor that there was going to be a 3-team trade with the Clippers, Boston, and Wizards. The Clippers
Right.
wanted to
Okay.
get
So then the one that's
Brogdon.
true.
So
Mhm.
Clippers wanted to get Brogdon. Brogdon's medical background was an issue, so that trade died. So instead,
Right.
they added Memphis. So the Memphis
Memphis. Okay.
Wizards Boston trade went through. That's the one that is
Right. Okay.
true. Yeah.
So Marcus Smart goes to Memphis. Um,
Tyus Jones goes
and
to
it
Wizards,
Ty
and then
Jones,
Memphis gives up to
Gallinari.
yeah. So let me read it to you, right? So
Mm.
3-team trade. What Grizzlies receive, they receive Marcus Smart. What the Celtics receive is Porzingis, a number 25 pick in the 2023 draft via Grizzlies, and a 2024 first round pick, top 4 protected via Warriors. What the Wizards receive is Tyus Jones via Grizzlies, Gallinari via Celtics, Muscala via Celtics, and number 35 pick in 2023 via Celtics. That was the pick
Okay.
that they had
So the
yesterday.
3 teams, I guess we won't even discuss the Wizards. Not much really happening in Washington. Um, Marcus Smart going to Memphis. That's actually a surprise just because he's been a Celtic. I'm pretty he was drafted there, wasn't he? He had to be. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of this time of his career, him leaving, especially them not getting a ring, you know. But to get Porzingis, it's an upgrade. Your thoughts on Porzingis?
Yeah, I like it. I think
Does that
my
move the
ish
needle for you?
the Celtics have always been contenders for him, so they're still contenders. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? I do. My issue with the Celtics is the ball distribution amongst amongst the players, and we saw that a lot where they're playing a lot of ISO. They fall into the Raptors trap. The Raptors fans know what I mean, that where we're playing a lot of ISO. Like, I get the ball, I do my thing. Then you get the ball, you do your thing. And the game they won, they were passing the ball, right? They were passing. It looked fluid. Everyone was in the system. Everyone was shooting. The extra pass is what got them to be successful. So with the Porzingis, does this help them do that? Maybe not, but it does give them a better defense inside. And I do like, and you know, Al Horford, he's old. Robert Williams, we saw what he did. Like those two guys weren't enough to handle Miami's Bam at a bot. You know what I'm saying? Um, like it's to me, I think this is better. I think he's better than those two guys, right? So it's an upgrade in that position at the five. But the issue is not the five. The issue has been Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, them working together cohesively and not hogging. In that fourth quarter, we saw, you know, Jaylen Brown chucking up threes at moments, right? Jason Tatum did that in the third round against Philly, and it worked because he was making the shots. But that last game when Tatum got that ankle injury, it just you could tell the team was just collapsed. They had no one else to go to outside of Jaylen. So having a Porzingis, if Jason was to get hurt, that's another person that can score, right, with the Browns. So I think this is like a better upgrade, but they're still contenders. They were contenders this year. They were favorited to go. A lot of teams had them going to the finals. So they're in the same level as they were before. Now they're just trying to say, okay, now we got to make a move, right? Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies, I like it. Jaws out for 25 games. Tyus Jones is great, but Marcus Smart gives you the defensive edge that you lost with Dylan Brooks, and he's a point guard, and he's aggressive, and he can play. I think he has the same grit and personality type to fit in that team. So I think he will be a great vet, a great leader for that team as well, because they need some structure. So yeah, I like that for Memphis. I do think Memphis got better with the Marcus Smart job combo when he comes back. And I do think Kristaps, I think Boston got better. I'm curious to see Tyus Jones and Gallinari, like what happened with those guys. But yeah, like I think Celtics and Grizzlies, I like their team. I think they're both gonna fit well. I think those teams win. And yeah, I'm excited to see how how both those players adapt to that to their new teammates, I guess I should say.
I think Porzingis is going to take a lot of pressure off of Tatum and Brown. I mean, he has the ability to be a part of a big three, third option, maybe even second option. I don't know how it works out, but he could like definitely be a piece in there. And yeah, when he gets tight, instead of going to Tatum and Brown, now you have to respect Porzingis, especially when he does it from the front court also. So yeah, good job on Boston with that little upgrade there. Last one on the
Faheem, before we move to the last one, remember Porzingis complained about Luka in the 2020 bubble? Remember because he had like a really weird performance and he was like, I don't get the ball enough. Do you think that might happen again with Boston? Because remember that was one of his issues with Luka, like not Luka, but with like not getting the ball enough in Dallas. Do you think that might be a problem? Like, do you think he wants to be a third option, or you think he's going there knowing he's a third option and he's okay with that? Just your thoughts on that part, and we can move on.
I think. Well, I don't think Boston is like Tatum and Brown are so ball dominant as Luka. They've worked it out. So I think that he'll work in the mix. I think he'll be all his stops he's had in his career. I think he'll be most happy. I think it's going to work for him in Boston. I'm not saying they're going to win a championship, but I think this seems to be a perfect situation for him because even in Washington, he was their number one option, but he's not really. And I don't think he's number one option. You know, I think he's really good complementary player. So I think now playing with this type of talent and depth in Boston, I think he'll be happy there. I think it should work out for him. Just my thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, his usage rate has let me see what usage rate for this season. So what's interesting, I'm just looking at usage rate. So he complained the 2020 year and it was pretty high. It was 27%. It dropped to 26 in the 2020-21. That's when he got traded to Washington, and it's at 27.3. So, but with the Knicks that last year it was at 30%. But maybe to your point, at this time in his career, maybe he's not ready to be, you said, a part of a big three and not worry about getting the ball, but winning, to your point. So I definitely do hope that's what we're going to see because he's going to a contender now. There's no excuses for Boston for him. This is it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Hmm.
let's
Hmm.
see that he's matured from that Dallas situation like 2 years ago, and hopefully he's now
Hmm.
okay, guys. I just want to win. So if we're
Right.
gonna win or win more games with me being a third option or whatever that is, I'm gonna do it. I hope he has that mindset going into Boston. Yeah.
Hmm. All right, last one. Chris Paul to Golden State. Uh, so
Wow.
And Jordan
go
Poole to
ahead.
Washington. Poole to
Jordan
Washington.
Poole of Washington. So technically it's Chris Paul goes to Washington, and then Washington flips him to Golden State for Jordan Poole. I mean,
Yeah, two different
thoughts?
trades. So Chris Paul was traded for Beal,
Yeah.
right? Chris Paul and Beal. They
Hmm.
shook hands, and then Chris Paul now is at in the Warriors. Yeah. Yo, did you hear that
Um,
Chris Paul found about the trade while he was on an actual show? So like he was going on a show, and they're like, "Hey, the trade," and he's like, "I just found out just now." Like he found out while he was
wow.
on a show, and he's like,
Mm,
"Yeah, I'm surprised at y'all." Like
mm,
imagine that. Anyway, that's the basketball business, but that's really like imagine Faheem, like you go to work and they go, "Oh, Faheem, we traded you to this company." You're like, "What? I just got here."
mm,
Anyway,
mm,
yeah, that's yo. I couldn't be an NBA player, man. You know, respect to all those guys for real, because that's a whole new world. But he found out the trade while he was about to go on a show and was like, "Yeah, I just heard. I don't know what to think. I'm shocked,
mm,
like you guys." Blah blah blah. But yes, Chris Paul is now a Warrior. What's your thoughts on that, Raheem?
mm. Thoughts? It's going to, well, it's good. I'm just wondering. So Chris Paul's always been a starter his entire career, right? Now, I mean, he's still a starting point guard in the league, right? So I just don't know how well he's a professional. So like, but it's just going to be odd, I think, seeing Chris Paul coming off the bench.
But will
Maybe
he
this part,
though? But will he?
well, Steph's. Oh, so what you think they go like with a two
Steph,
point
well,
guard backcourt?
Steph
Like,
Steph plays Steph plays a
uh,
two a lot. Like he plays off the ball more than he plays point. Let's be real. Like especially in the
okay.
playoffs this year, like he was like bring up the ball wasn't always Steph. It was different people. You know what I mean? Steph would bring up the ball with games where he was the only guy shooting, but Steph plays like a combo guard. He's not like a pure point guard type player, right?
That I
So
get. I just think Steph is as a two guard is very much undersized.
I
I don't
agree.
know how that
No,
would
I
work.
mean,
I
no, I
just gonna be
mean,
yeah. Just, mhm,
that's my point. Like, I don't know why they got Chris Paul. Like, like to
mhm,
me, I'm trying to understand the logic because you don't. What Chris Paul is getting, first of all, Fahim, the trade. Chris Paul was what they got, and they gave away Poole, Baldwin, Ryan Rollins, a 2030 first round protected pick, and a 2027 second pick. All of that for Chris Paul. You're not doing all of that just for him to come off the bench for him. He's a starter. You're not trading all
mhm.
those guys for to come off the bench. I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think so. But to your point, you're right.
Mhm.
Like you can't move. Like so what you're gonna do? You're gonna move Steph to the two, and then you have Clay at the three, Wiggins the four, and the five is Kevin Looney because you know Mr. Draymond hasn't resigned yet, and he opted out. I mean, you get Chris Paul. You get rid of all that for Chris Paul just from to come off the bench for a bench 40 million. How much are you getting paid? 40 million. He's getting paid off the
Uh,
bench.
I think
I don't
it's
know if he
30.
mean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Like, but I get
Jordan
your
Poole was
logic.
coming off the bench though,
It's
wasn't
hard.
he?
Pardon me?
Jordan Poole was coming
Yeah,
off the bench, right?
but you don't trade three bench players for one bench player. You know what I'm saying? Like he's getting paid 30 million, right?
Yeah.
And
But if you think about it like this though, do you think that their bench just got that much better with Chris Paul coming off it? I would think so, opposed to Jordan Poole.
so what I think they're gonna do, they're gonna start them and probably do a stagger
Yeah.
with like Chris Paul and Steph, or a stagger. But again, Fahim, back to your original thought. You're talking about him coming off the bench. Chris Paul is not coming off the bench. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. Yo, if he comes
Yeah.
to the bench for him, I'll be so shocked. That man is starting. Even if he starts for only 2 minutes
Hmm.
and they pull him off the game, He's not going there to just come off the bench. Chris Paul. That's why I'm saying, like, you don't trade 3 guys and 2 first round picks, or a first round pick, the second round pick, just for a bench
Yeah.
guy. You trade him because you want him to play. You want him to be in the court. You think he's going to do something that is going to help your team. And he's a great passer. And maybe they're not, you know what I'm saying? And because Draymond maybe he's not sure he's going to come back, you need someone that can facilitate on the court, right? And Clay's not doing that. Kevin Looney's not doing that. So Wiggins not doing that. So you have Chris Paul. But anyway, back to original thought. Your prediction is Chris Paul's coming off the bench and back to back up Steph. That's your original thought, right? So
All right. Well, we'll see how those trades, all three that we discussed, they're trades that I would expect for the offseason, for some of these teams to make. None of these are really disappointing, you know. So we'll see how they shape out.
Yeah, it's not disappointing. I think my favorite trade is still Boston getting Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah,
I like that for Boston, and I like Memphis getting Marcus Smart. Like, I love those two. Make more sense than the Beal and the Chris Paul. Those other two don't make sense at all. And I've asked a couple of Warriors fans, and they're like confused as F. And actually, Warriors fans don't like Chris Paul. Because remember, Chris Paul in that Houston playoffs, remember he gave like Steve Kerr the kind of FU face when he walked away. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, so a lot of Warriors fans do this. Faheem, they hate that man. So when they got Chris Paul, imagine like us getting Embiid. You know what I'm saying? We don't hate him, but it's like, what the you know what I'm saying? It's like you're getting a rival. Like he's been a rival in the Western Conference for so long, Faheem, right? For so long. Now your enemy has joined your team. Like, what? So I know a lot of Warriors fans are happy, but I mean, if it works, I'm sure like playing basketball will solve all problems. And Beal, Suns fans, from what I'm told, they like it, but they're like, I don't know what it's gonna look like because they don't know who's gonna play the point guard. Will it be Beal or will it be Booker? So again, those two trades is like we're gonna see. I don't think it's bad or they're awful trades. I'm more of I guess we're gonna see what it looks like because I can't envision it. So when I see it, I'll know. But the Marcus Smart pickup for Memphis, Jaren Jackson, 2 depoys on the same team. They're gonna be a defensive team, man. And then Kristaps with Boston, yeah. Those are my 2 favorite pickups by teams this offseason. So yeah.
All right, nice. All right, so Nelly J, you want to go for the culture?
Before we do go for the culture, Faheem, I do want to first big up Grady Dick. He's a Raptor. He's the player that I really wanted. Big up to a couple people on Raptors Live TV that mentioned Grady Dick. We all wanted him. We didn't think he would ever fall to 13, but he did. Because if not, I want Keontae George. So either way, we have a 6'8" shooter, a man that can shoot. From the best shooter in the draft is a Raptor, and he's 6'8", y'all. You know what I'm saying? So the vision is still there. So I want to big up Grady Dick before we go for the culture. That's all.
Also, we did pick up a undrafted player also
from K-State, Marquise. Right. What's his name?
Marquise Noel.
Noel, that's his last name. Yeah, Noel. Right. Yeah.
He had a good tournament, a really impressive tournament, and he looked like he slipped just because of his height. He's 5'8". A lot of teams didn't really, just kind of a height bias. But yeah, we got him.
Hello.
And we have good luck with some would say, should we say smaller smaller players, I guess.
Mighty Mouse, we're talking about?
Yeah, Mighty Mouse, Muggsy Bogues played for the Raptors also.
Yeah.
All right. So Nelly, let's go for the culture.
For the culture, I would like to highlight individuals for the culture. And today we're going to highlight someone that we just spoke about that was just traded to the Warriors, Mr. Chris Paul. Chris Paul has had a very long tenure in the NBA, drafted in 2005, first round, 4th pick, like our boy Scotty, went to Wake Forest. The Hornets picked him up. He went from the Hornets, the Clippers, the Rockets, the Thunder, and the Suns. and now the Warriors. So all-star, all-NBA player, defensive team, you name it. Just he's gonna be a Hall of Famer for sure. But what he's doing off the court for him is amazing. So we spoke about Chris Paul hosting HBCU basketball tournaments, right? He's hosting now two, not just one. And that's to help increase the student athletes, right? Right, giving them more exposure nationally. He also created Faheem a case study based course called Business of Entertainment, Media, and Sports, and that will also be expanding within the HBCUs. On top of that, he did provide grants to Black-owned businesses through Social Change Fund United, worth $55,000. And last but not least, for him, he's the only athlete appointed to President Joe Biden's board of advisors on HBCUs. Wow, I did not know this, Faheem. So that's why Chris Paul is for the culture. So Faheem, what's your thoughts on what Chris Paul got going on, man?
Uh, Chris Paul, I remember the HBCU, uh, historically Black colleges and universities. The NBA had a time where they were focusing on that. I think it was during the bubble. They really, I
But
guess that
Faheem,
was,
don't forget Faheem, they're still doing it now, though. They still have the HBCUs All Star. I think they have a game. I think that they highlight
yeah,
every All
yeah,
Star
they had
weekend,
the
right?
game also, right?
Yeah.
So, but with Chris Paul, he's been down with the HBCUs from day one. Like he's really been a supporter. So yeah, it's great to see that, there's a lot of things that he's doing off the court. He did win the NBA Cares Community Assist Award. With that, it's not a surprise. He was once, wasn't he the president of the NBA PA also, like Chris Paul, he's just a
Mm-hmm.
professional, right? So,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's great that now, you're highlighting him in this For the Culture segment for sure.
Yeah. And I also like that what he's doing is going to help the future and also influence other athletes to do this as well, right? We know HBCU has its challenges, so and that's fair, but it's always good to like help them advocate, right? Help in any way. And so I do think this is great for the HBCUs. Me as an outsider looking in, because I never went to one. So, but I like the fact that these younger athletes are getting the exposure that they wouldn't get nationally. You know what I'm saying? I also do
Hmm.
like the fact that the whole Black owned businesses supporting with those grants. And guys, grants is free money. Loans is a loan, but a grant, that means he's giving these companies like actual funding, and this could help pay for anything: their lease, their product, their marketing, their advertising, their staff. You know, us as entrepreneurs, for him, we understand that any little bit of extra money, it goes a long way for Black owned business, especially in this economy. So I just think that he's touching on just such important things around Black students, Black businesses, and also the fact that he's also on the advisory board for Joe Biden, right? Because they want, having that backing, right, is also important as well. I think the case study based course about around entertainment, media, and sports in business, I think it's wonderful. I think a lot of times, we have a lot of people that represent us, but they're not Black. Agents, people in the media, right, who cover sports that are predominantly Black athletes. I think it's great to try to us as well help younger, Black students to learn more about the media and the sports world, right? So that way
Hmm.
there's more diversity in the coaching staff, in the front office, you name it, Faheem. So I think it's covering all the bases. So big up to Chris Paul. You're for the culture. Good
Woo!
luck with the Warriors. And yeah, I'm excited to see what he does next year, because I feel like he's all do something really dope. So I'm really excited to see what
Hmm.
Chris Paul does in 2023. But yeah, like big up to him, man.
Hmm. Most def. Uh, when I think of, because we were just earlier discussing about Chris Paul and possibly coming off the bench, if that could happen or not. Um, Vince Carter is somebody who he was a starter for many of his career, and later in his career, he ended up really being a great role model and mentor for a lot of players later in his career. Chris Paul, like I said, he's very much professional. So it wouldn't be surprised if even if it's not in Golden State, is because I don't think Golden State's his last years, depending on how long he's there. I
Mm-hmm.
could see him being somebody who professional who could look to, even if he's not starting, continue to mentor players as it's happening. So yeah, a lot of respect for Chris Paul. Ton.
Yeah, I actually think Chris Paul will be a coach. I think he'll be
Mm,
working in the NBA. Like I think he'd be a
mm,
great coach. I just think
sure.
that his IQ is phenomenal. He's probably one of the best IQ, and he breaks down the game. Like whatever defense you gives you, like he can break that down. Imagine having a Chris Paul on your, coaching with you or as a coach, as a point guard. Like that's freaking amazing. So I really
Mm.
hope he. I mean, of course it's up to him, but I'll hope like if he goes into coaching, I know coaching is a high demand job. So maybe not coaching, maybe you said consult a team or work in a front office, but I really hope he stays around the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I
I
really
was
do.
actually, when you were saying coaching, I was going to say, I was thinking, GM. Why,
Hmm.
he's already has the managerial type mindset. So, and a temperament to be a GM. So why not? Yeah. But like I said, shout out to Chris Paul. Most stuff.
Big
Mhm.
up, big up.
So, Nelly J, let's get to our last segment, which is That's Absurd.
That's absurd, Fahim, bro. What was absurd this week? Suck. What was absurd? Because it's been weeks of this absurd topic.
Wow. Okay, here we go. Zion Williamson. Oh, all right. Okay. I'm trying not to be messy. I'm trying to keep it as clean. I'm putting on my bib right now, keeping it as clean because this is okay. Um, so what are we calling them politically correct here? I don't want porn star, I
The
guess.
porn star. Yeah.
Okay,
I
okay.
mean,
I just don't want to. Okay. Porn star. Moriah Mills is threatening to release a sex tape between her and Zion Williamson if he isn't traded by the Pelicans. She went to Twitter, and this is the tweet. NBA, I have sex tapes of me and Zion Williamson, and he also has them on his trap phone. At NBA, at Pelicans NBA, trade him now. He doesn't deserve to be in New Orleans. Sex tapes dropping soon. Absurd.
absurd.
Wow.
That sounds like like sex tape dropping soon reminds me of like a rapper trying to drop, a new album.
A mixtape.
Like
It sounds
it's like
like
a
a mixtape.
mixtape. It's like, you know what I mean? Like that last line is like, wow, like this is crazy. First of all, I do not care to watch any of Zion sex. Guys, don't. If it was to leak, I've no desire, okay, to watch Zion, in a sex tape. Number one. Number two, I think it's so absurd because we're at a place in society where side chicks, girlfriends, whatever you want to call it, things that they can threaten a business because they don't like that person no more. So Fahim, this person, I hate the basketball take. So hey, like this is like, are you trying to blackmail the NBA? Like, is it a blackmail? Is
Wow.
it like, hey, like, and again, if you drop the sex tape, the NBA doesn't lose money. Like you're acting like this sex tape's gonna ruin the NBA's image. This guy has not played basketball for him. I don't know when he played since I think December of 2022. The NBA does not rely on Zion to be successful as a league. So I just either like, and again, listen, if she want to tweet that, go on, that's her business. But I'm just like, I feel like it's absurd because they're not gonna do anything based on your tweet. Like it's not, so it's like a waste of energy. And I just think it's absurd because now we have NBA players, exes or side chicks or whatever you want to call it, things that they can tweet at the NBA and be like, hey, I'm demanding all these things dropping soon. Like that's wild for him. Like I saw that tweet and I was like, wow, like we're here. Like we're now here. We
Yeah.
can't go back. We've seen it. It's out there. Um, man, like honestly, I have grace for Zion and I have grace for everything. For Zion, for all the ladies in the situation. It's not really our business to comment what Zion should be doing, what he can like that's not the point. The point of this is like the fact, yo, listen, it could be anyone's wife. anyone's father. I don't care. If anyone decides to threaten the NBA with a sex tape, I don't care who it is. That's absurd. Forget the porn star. Anybody. Like it could be your wife threatening, oh, I'm gonna release his sex tape if you don't tell him to come home early. Like, what the hell? We are now in the matrix. We are here. So for him, it's absurd because of that. The whole Zion and the girls and what happened and all the stuff she's tweeting. Hey, bless their heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever resolved, how to resolve it. I'm assuming Zion may have to get a lawyer, give her some money, you know, pay her to be a bit quiet, to be silent. That's how you do the stuff. You give the money, whatever check she needs. And maybe because she's not give like I don't know, but that's what I would do if I was Zion's people. Yo, ask her how much she needs, money she wants, and then whatever. And maybe she wants money, but they're telling her no. Either way, if I'm Zion, I'm like, yo, drop the sex tape. I don't care, because that's all I need to come after you, right? Because I'm sure in certain states you can't drop sex tapes of people, just because you can't do that. So, my dear, like look at the laws on your state and figure that out. But anyway, Fahim, this entire thing is absurd. But I want to touch on the whole situation. I want to touch on this tweet. We need to like tweeting the NBA, y'all, please. Zion is a great guy. He's a great player, but he does not define the NBA. He's not the only. He's not even a superstar yet, right? We had him becoming one. He's not even there yet. So this is not going to. I mean, listen. If the NBA only gave Ja Morant 25 days for a gun, if you leak a sex tape, Zion may just get the same amount. Like it's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? You're leaking it, that's on you. But Fahim, man, it's crazy that someone thinks they can tweet the NBA and Pelicans and say trade him, or the mixed sex tape is dropping soon. That is absurd.
Wow.
Wow.
Absurd.
Your thoughts, Fahim, on this messy situation? Because it's mess. The mess
Oh
is
man.
like dirt, doo doo, diarrhea, vomit. Like, guys, anything that smells dirty, that's nasty, is all in this pile. Go ahead, Fahim. What's your thoughts on this mess, man?
I'm not going to comment on Zion and his decisions outside the court. I'll leave that for public opinion in Zion. Um, I do think, though, I'm with you. Adding the NBA to make a move is just absolutely absurd. And I guess that could just goes to speak about where we are, like you mentioned, a society where sometimes people are just too comfortable, you know? Um, just having the access to players where you can send out a tweet and have a player reply, open a space and have an NBA player jump in your space and talk. There's just like that level of accessibility that I think that's gone too far when you're tweeting the NBA with a threat. Just absurd.
Absurd. You know, Fahim, I
Mm.
really listen. If I was really a good educator, like if I knew how to create coursework and design courses, I'm creating a South Carolina course called John Morant and Zion. And in that class, in that course, we're gonna go through a journey of John Morant's 2 years decisions, what he's doing, and what are ways to prevent this. Like as a PR person, or as like how do you solve these crises, right? Like, I think at this point, we're here, y'all. We can't go back. So, how do we learn from this? How do we learn, if your client is like a Ja or a Zion, what to do, right? This could be a really good teachable moment. Because this can't, like, the South Carolina can't be as absurd as, like, it's crazy. So, to me, create a coursework around these situations, train media training, train players. I think it's mandatory on how to do, on what not to do, and also how to deal with crisis. Like, hey, what if your client has a porn star and she lost to leak sex tapes? What do you do? Like, I think that can all be in a course. So I hope all the educators listening, all the teachers out there, they're taking and say, you know what? Let's put this into an actual. You know what? Take all of her tweets, put them in a nice little textbook, and talk about how do we deal with this? What is your next steps, right? But yeah, I just again I have grace for Zion, I have grace for all the girls. Because again, everyone seems hurt, and people that are hurt people, right? So it seems like there's a whole bunch of pain and no one's healing, and a lot of, like, revenge happening. And and also like, feel slated. So I just hope, Zion's okay. I hope all the ladies are okay. I hope they figure out, again, in my business, I hope they figure it out, because I'm not paid enough to figure out their problems or comment on what Zion should and shouldn't be doing. But I do hope players, coaches, and everyone learns from the situation as to how do we manage this type of lifestyle, so that way it doesn't come to the public eye like this. But to your point, you're adding the NBA, a whole National Basketball Association, been around for over 75 years, thinking that your sex mixtape dropping soon is going to make
you call it a sex mixtape, which is hilarious.
Sex no, like mixtape. It was like a commercial, like
yeah.
But you know what, Faheem, the saga continues, and again, y'all, if the mixtape gets dropped, the sex tape gets dropped, I don't want to see it, so I'm gonna let it there.
No. All right, Nelly J. Let's put this episode in the books.
Y'all, that was a good rookie show. If you had a good time and you enjoyed yourself, please like and subscribe. But before we end the show, as y'all know, we do our shout outs. So again, Faheem, we come from Toronto. The summer is here. That's episode we can talk about the weather, but the summer is here finally. So this week, actually, want to give a big shout out to be quite simple. I'm a Raptors fan, so y'all know I'm coming with this. Mr. Grady Dick, GD. Apparently, they said his jersey sales might sell out really quickly because of Dick on the back of the jersey. Will I buy a Grady Dick jersey? Maybe not. But if it sells out, I will look like that'd be great for him. But nonetheless, I want to pick him up. He seems excited to be a Raptor. He mentioned that he wants to meet Drake. Don't worry, buddy. You're going to meet Drake if you're a Raptor player. But he decided to come here. He decided to play with Scotty Barnes and Faheem. The future to me looks bright. We have some young players. It's Scotty, Trent, Grady, OG. Siakam's not even 30 yet. In 2 years, it's going to be, I see the vision. Whatever we happen this postseason in terms of trade and whatnot, I'm all for it. But yeah, just pick up to Grady Dick. I like when we get a pickup and they start to come here. That's dope for him. So make up to him. How about you, Faheem?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll keep it Raptors teamed also then. Marquise Noel. He is the shortest player in the league right now, officially, at 5'8".
Wow.
So big up to him. I know we mentioned him earlier, but as welcome. It could be another Fred VanVleet situation, undrafted. He's got the heart. He is a 5-year player, 23 years old, so he's a more seasoned, grown rookie. But that worked out well for Fred VanVleet also in that same situation. So sometimes it's not so much when you get there, but how long you stay there. And yeah, best luck to him. I'll end there.
Absolutely. So Faheem, now that he's part of the short club of the NBA, big up to them. Guess how many other players are under 5'11"? No, sorry, I guess under 6 feet. Officially, under I guess, based on,
in the league right now. So
yeah, how many players do you think? Yeah. He's now one. Who the others?
I'm gonna go with 7.
There's 3 others. Only 3.
3.
Yeah, but I think they're lying though, because I don't think Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet are taller than 6 feet. But whatever. I mean, I don't know.
Oh wait, did they have Fred VanVleet as over 6 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, well
they have him the same height as Kyle Lowry. But if you Google a picture of Fred VanVleet and Kyle, he's shorter than Kyle Lowry. The picture of that. Okay. So again, what do I know?
Officially 3 though. Okay, cool.
But it's 3, yeah. Jordan McLaughlin from the Timberwolves, David Stockton, and McKinley Wright, the 4th. They're all 5'9". So
there you go.
They're all 5'9" for him. So he's now 5'8". But you said the shortest player. But yeah, I didn't think we'd have like 3 others that are on the 5'9", 5'8" range, but we do.
Right.
So big up to great shout out.
All right. So let's go ahead and put this episode in the books.
Yes, y'all, that's a good rookie show. If you had a good time and you enjoyed yourself, please like and subscribe. And tell a friend. Faheem.
We are on all platforms if you're looking for us. Now, that's a good rookie show. and we out. Peace.